There is a terrible story in our town about a night witch. The story goes that whoever attracts her attention by going to a ruined house on the outskirts of the village will be tormented by her to the very end. There really was such a house, and the story goes that there lived a woman who was believed to be a witch. In the 20s of the last century, she and her family were driven out into the cold, where they froze to death. That day she shouted in front of the whole town that she would not leave the inhabitants and their descendants alone for letting them do this to her. And her good quality house would not bring happiness to anyone. The mayor moved into that house. And now, according to rumors, he and his whole family disappeared on one rainy night. They were never found. Then the house changed many owners, but every time a misfortune happened. Soon there were no more owners, the house fell into disrepair and ruin. It still stands on the spur of the moment. When we were little, the older boys told us scary stories about the night witch. And of course, any trouble in the village was associated with her machinations. But every child at us knew how you can protect yourself from her, if suddenly the witch draws attention to you. Because the first sign if she came to you was that the lights went out in the house. She only came at night. If that happened, you had to light a candle at once. If you did, the witch wouldn't get to you. And if you didn't, that's why everyone in our village carried a candle torch and matches in their pockets. Even the adults, even though they laughed themselves. Of course, the brave ones got into the house. But if their lives were cut short afterwards, even after several years, then of course it was believed that the night witch took them. And so, in the 90s, our little town became desolate. There were no people left. I looked there last year. I was passing by and decided to make a detour to remember my childhood. I remembered the legend of the night witch. To conquer childhood fears, I went into it. There is nothing much to describe. A house like a house. All rotten, and the roof is so thin that the next winter it clearly will not survive. At night when I got home, the strange things began. I was sitting in front of the TV at 11 o'clock in the evening. I was watching soccer, and then the lights went out. Didn't even scare me at first. So I blew a fuse. That happens. I get out of my chair, turn around, and in the darkness, I think there's a tall woman standing in the next room. It was a little brighter from the street lamp outside the window. That's when I got a lump in my throat. At once I remembered all the stories about the night witch. And now they seemed very authentic, especially when I heard footsteps in the room, and then a quiet, barely audible mocking laugh. Stumbling and dropping things, I rushed into the kitchen. I opened the drawer and fumbled with my hands, trying to find matches and a candle with trembling fingers. I remembered that I had bought them and put them here. And the footsteps came closer and closer. Already in the hallway. And laughter. Nasty, disgusting laughter that made my hair curl. But here's luck. I found a candle and matches. Then I feel cold hands on my shoulders. And the smell in the kitchen is putrid. Laughter is above my ear. I gritted my teeth so as not to scream, pulled myself together and lit a match on the box. I realized that there was no time left at all and that I had only one shot at it. A match ignited, and I managed to light a candle with it. I turned around, trembling with fear. But there is nothing in the kitchen. Only a rotten spirit as a reminder. I wish I could say that that was the end of it. But it was only the beginning. Now I have no peace. Every few days or so, when suddenly the light goes out, I have to nervously bite my lip, frantically search in my pocket for a candle and urgently light it. Because when I find myself in the darkness, I hear a ghastly laughter that gets closer and closer with every passing moment. Thank you for watching and supporting me. Subscribe to the channel, there will be many more interesting things.